What is going on, YouTube people? Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics here for a little impromptu live stream. Not sure how long we'll go. I do want to watch the Cavs play the Grizzlies tonight. See my boy Darius and Ja throw down. But there are 14 million different things going on right now across the various different hobbies. So I figured I'd hop on here to chat for a little bit. It has been wild times. So let's just recap the last couple days real quick, and then we'll kind of dive into some chat questions. I'll kind of prime the pump here. One, it's January 2022 now. That means the tax man's here. I did the video about that. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. I think most people are drastically overrating that. It's, yeah, you're going to need to change your processes a little bit. It is what it is. Two, Fanatics has purchased Tops. Off the top rope, they opened the new year. And then three, which kind of prompted this. I was going to do a video about it, and I said, let's just go live and chat. CGC, not CSG, CGC, so this is for the comic book folks out there, have raised their prices today. I'll lead with that, and then I'll go ahead and jump in the chat really quick. So the CGC price thing, to me, it's 100% expected. I view this more from the sports card angle, where we're kind of used to this, you know, the increased grading fees. This is the second or third time they've raised prices. I don't personally grade comic books. I buy them already graded. And it is what it is. That's their way to try to slow down books coming in the door. They have a massive backlog, just like all the other sports card grading companies do. This just time it's comic books. And this is a way to try to slow down submissions. I don't think it's them being greedy or anything like that. I mean, sure, don't get me wrong, the money doesn't help. But this is just one of their mechanisms. This is a lever to pull to try to slow things down. I suggested a while ago that they should consider closing down like PSA did for a hot minute. A lot of people think I was crazy for that take, but maybe, once again, I'm just viewing this from the sports card lens. So I don't know. Interesting there that they raised their prices. Like I said, I don't grade books personally. I just buy them already graded, so that's not my thing. So I'm not sure how much of an impact, if any, that it'll have on that market. But oh, thanks, Casual Collector. You don't got to do anything. It's all good. You don't have to super chat, but thank you very much. Much appreciated. All right, let me dive to the top here and run through these real quick before I fall drastically behind on chat, like we sometimes do. Do I think Fanatics? Do I think Fanatics will now buy Panini and possibly Upper Deck to continue the brands they both have also? I think it's potential for them. I think they could also potentially work out licensing deals. You know, Panini could go back to being a sticker company. They don't need Optic. They don't need Prism. They don't need Don Russ. They don't need Flawless and NT for that. So, you know, could they sell those names off to Tops/Fanatics? Yeah, I could see that. Could they buy Upper Deck? Sure, I could see that. But Upper Deck, you know, I hear from a lot of different people that Upper Deck's persnickety. They might not be looking to sell. But who knows? Who knows? There's always enough money to change people's minds. But I could see this going a couple different ways. I could see them saying, we're good. We have Tops. We have our flagship product. And we can develop new brands off this. You know, Topps Chrome for Topps Chrome will be the flagship product. That'll be the Prism, you know, and we'll just kind of filter in new products off of there. They could create new stuff. There's tons of Topps other sets that they could use, but they do need a little bit more variety, in my opinion. But you know, so I see them doing something there. I don't know if they would go full-fledged and purchase them. Nothing would surprise me at this point. I agree. They probably don't need to buy Panini, but they may want some of those brands to fill out their inventory. And they may want to buy Panini just to be able to take over the hobby immediately. That's the thing. If they buy Panini, they take over now. You know, if they announce the deal tomorrow, we purchased Panini, that's it. You know, game's over, wrap it up. They're in charge. Whereas right now, Panini still has a lot of influence in the card market because they can still control basketball and football products. So to their detriment, they could still overprint that stuff, which would still hurt the hobby overall. So that could be a potential angle too for them to want to eliminate Panini from the from play. Video looks clear. What kind of camera do you use? I use a Sony ZV-1, mounted on an arm bracket, and then I just added a new ring light, which I did not have before, to get a little more, get me out of the shade a little bit. Hence the little hue right here on the receding hairline. But yeah, Sony ZV-1, very very good camera. Love it. Really really good for streaming. I have it running through a Camlink 4K. HDMI out of the camera into the Camlink 4K into the desktop. Good day had me at IRS and 1099's. Yeah. Wild times indeed, global sports card investor. Sorry, I'm very behind on chat. I'm not purposely not saying hello to everybody, but I've already drastically fallen behind on comments. Yep. Topps Chrome is now the new mothership. What did you pay for the 5.5 first Black Panther in the back? The Black Panther in the back, where it, whoop, it's that way, is hiding back there. Way back there. It's actually a 6.5. 6.5 white pages. I paid $17.75 shipped for it. I just got that in the other day. I think I've showed it on a bunch of different live streams. I don't know that I've actually showed it on my own damn channel. But yeah, that right there, first appearance of Black Panther in a CGC 6.5, and it is white pages, which is a nice little added bonus there. I got that for $17.50 from A1 Comics in Sacramento. Purchased that in one of their recent live sales. I barely understand my own taxes global. I'm not going to try to understand yours too. Do you think prices increase partially due to the PSA back? 100%. That's the main reason PSA increased prices. They've even said it, that they did that perfectly for that. Yeah, the general thought seems to be regarding the MJ Woods LeBron stuff and Upper Deck is that if they sold, those deals go turn into smoke. So they would need to redo those deals, which they absolutely could. They have the money to do it. Will this slow down people from sending lower quality comics to CGC? Maybe. But once again, I'm not super familiar with the raw to grade in the comic book world. It's just something I've never done. I've never looked into it that close. The only raw books I own are the comic books I have from when I was a kid, and they were not taken care of at all, you know. And I don't really have anything super key. I have some decent Wolverine stuff, some decent X-Men stuff, but I don't have like, you know, an ASM 300 or anything. That was out when I was a kid, but I was always an X-Men and Wolverine guy, not a Spider-Man guy. So, you know, it might make people pause and question what they're sending, but as long as they're still turning a good profit, they're still going to send it. You know, grading is grading. It doesn't matter whether you're grading a sports card or a comic book. It's a math equation. You know, what's your cost for the book? What is the cost to grade it? How long is it going to take to get back? And if you have a good eye for grading, what do you reasonably think it's going to grade for? And what do you think it's going to sell for? If you know you input all those numbers, even with a CGC price increase or PSA price increase, it really doesn't make a difference which one you're talking about. And the number still comes out to a profit that you feel is worth the time and energy, then you send it in. I mean, that's really all it comes down to. Does the price increase narrow that window a little bit? It might for some people. Yeah, it still might be a few years for Topps Chrome till we actually see basketball. That depends on the Panini side of things. To me, that's the interesting angle for them to go get Panini now. I mean, LeBron and Kobe Topps Chrome rookies already doing pretty good. No, I've had this camera for a while. I've had this camera for quite a while. Actually, just conned Dakota into buying one of these. Sports Card Anonymous just bought one. Sorry, still playing catch up on chat here. Yeah, like I said, that's the angle is for them going full control. Yep. Yep, that's the angle. If they wanted to. What happens to Prism now? Do you see Fanatics using Topps Chrome? What's up, Robus, by the way? Do you see Fanatics using Topps Chrome instead of Prism if they buy Panini, or will they use both for their flagship brand? They could easily use both. You know, what I would personally like to see, like if you said, hey, Rob, here's the magic wand. You're now the czar of the sports card world, and you have all the brands, at least Topps and Panini brands. I would make Topps Chrome the flagship product, and I would turn Prism into Old Select. I would make Prism a hobby exclusive product like Select used to be, and not have a retail element to it. So you have Topps Chrome as the flagship product, the one that you can walk into any store and buy, or maybe Base Tops is the one that you can walk into any store and buy. Chrome is this weird mismatch of kind of like Prism is now. There's hobby boxes, but there is also retail. And then I think I would make Prism the hobby exclusive product. Or you could do it the other way around. I feel like they wouldn't want to restrict Topps Chrome, but I think that would be a very interesting way to do it. And then you kind of have two flagship products like we had prior with Prism and Select before Panini decided to ruin Select. But I mean, they could do both. They could just release them both like how Prism came out before. And you have two flagship products. You have Topps Chrome and you have Prism, and the market decides which one is the card that everybody wants. That could be a play as well. I mean, we don't know for sure, Josh, if there'll be Topps Chrome basketball and football cards, but you can make a pretty damn good assumption that there would be. What is going on, Bazooka Tom? Support. That's right. Smash the like button if you have not. Hit that old like button. How many we have? 16 likes and 120 you in here. I think there's 120 you in here. I don't know. Yeah, 123 in here. I don't usually say it, but hit the like button. When do I think the NBA market will see a steady bounce back? It's already starting to pick up in certain places. Jaw stuff's going up. Looked like maybe Lucas stuff was starting to pop back up a little bit now that he's back. I think there's still a little bit more pain coming, but I think as I said in the video today with the 2022 predictions, I think the further we get away from February of last year and get rid of that huge spike that happened and move away from that, the better off we'll be. The more people take those losses and just get over it and move on. And that card, that Lucas Silver Prism that someone paid 8K for, they sold it to someone that bought it for 4K, the new current market price. That loss is now gone. That's lost to the wind. That was someone else's problem. It's gone. It's disappeared. And the market will kind of reset itself. That's kind of what I think will start to happen. Someone made a point in my comments today about like the PSA backlog. The more of that gets cleared too will help things. And to a point, I think I think it was Inglorious. Most of the stuff in the PSA backlog, in my mind at this point, is probably pretty junky, to be honest. Remember, the deeper PSA gets into the backlog, the more crap, for lack of a better term, it is. Because towards the end there, people were just literally sending everything. I remember when the price increase stuff was coming out, people said they were just grabbing whole long boxes and just sending it blind to get it in. So, Paul, what is going on? Is authentication for comics still priority one for vintage books? Totally unfamiliar with comics. Yeah, and checking to make sure that they're not restored is a major thing in comic books. Because people do restore comic books. There's like literally wizards out there that work on comic books, and there's certain things that are acceptable. There's certain things that are not. And one of the big things that like CGC will catch is if a book has been restored or not, or color touched or whatever. So yes, that is a massive part, the authentication process, especially of older stuff, in addition to just grading the overall quality of the book. I would assume Fanatics is going to have a big NFT element. That's completely out of my world. So, how much snow Indiana has? I don't know. I don't live in Indiana. Or do you live in Indiana and you're getting a bunch of snow? We haven't gotten really any here in Ohio. We've gotten very little snow. I think they said we might get a storm tomorrow night. Maybe. It looks like that's changed. I'm just looking at the weather really quick. How do I list on eBay? I just honestly take a picture with my cell phone. I don't scan. I just got a light box. It's actually sitting right there. Wife got it for me for Christmas. I haven't set it up yet though. I think Fanatics will absolutely want to continue non-sports brands. They've talked about wanting to get into. Luber's talked about the celebrity cards and stuff like that, and they're not stupid. They see what's going on in the non-sports card world between all this Marvel stuff recently, plus Star Wars Stellar Signatures, Star Wars Masterworks, the Game of Thrones products doing really good. Like they're not dumb. They're gonna want that money. Upper Deck has Marvel, so they would have to get the Marvel license for a Topps Chrome Marvel. I mean, yes and no. The problem is that Panini still has control of basketball and football for now. That will change, but I think the distribution side is the side that gets the most messy. Honestly, if I was a major distributor, I would be extremely worried. I think those are the guys that get shaken up the most by far. Do they gonna give a bump to 90s, 2000s tops Brandon Brady? Maybe it could. That stuff's already very well respected in the market, though. It's not like that's it's not like that stuff's viewed as like junk. You know what I mean? Like the '08 tops Chrome LeBron guarding Kobe card is very well respected in the industry, and that's not a rookie or anything like that. Would never buy Black Panther anything. Interesting take, Mark. He's one of the most popular of Marvel key characters, and his book is very reasonably priced, and was the star of one of the most popular Marvel movies in existence. The Radium cards are pretty cool looking. I don't own any. I'm not chasing any per se. I'm not a Trout guy. This is a better question for Filmington. I don't own any Trout. I'm just not. I don't know. I see it. Like I get the numbers argument and everything and all that. He just, I don't know, for whatever reason, I've never once said, man, I need to get a Trout card in my collection. But, you know, maybe it's just an era of when I came back into the hobby. Yeah, that's the interesting take. How much does Fanatics push? They're in a weird spot right now because they only control baseball, and baseball's in a lockout. I could see Exquisite returning if they buy Upper Deck for sure, but they need to buy Upper Deck for that to happen. Yes, I do think Upper Deck is a viable alternative to Panini for sure. I don't know that they need both. I don't know that they need any of them, but if I'm being greedy, I would rather have Upper Deck come back than Panini, to be quite honest. What's up, Alex? I usually go to 101, which actually, if you're in North Olmsted, that's not too terribly far from you. 101 is just south of North Olmsted, over by not Brecksville, off 82 there, Strongsville. They have trade nights and stuff too on occasion. I like the 101 shop probably the best, and then I go to most of the shows in Northeast Ohio, and then I go to Triple Play Vintage for supplies and stuff on occasion. I haven't been in there in a while. They're not great for singles, but that's my go-to for supplies if my local place doesn't have them. I mean, I don't know that they're incompetent to build up. They just need the infrastructure. This just instantly gives them infrastructure. They go and buy Tops, they immediately have infrastructure. They didn't have printing capabilities before. All that stuff they would have had to build from the ground up. Why do that when you could just go write a check and then you just own it all? And then they can figure out, I saw they did keep all their employees or ported over. I am sure that will get weeded out and things will get shuffled around a little bit. But yeah, why do all the legwork to put up all that, ability to print and actually produce cards? Like, sure, they may have some grand ideas for like distribution and stuff like that, but like, does Fanatics know how to print a card? No. Tops does. Yeah, what Toy Star cards and collectibles says here. Yeah, it came out today in multiple places that they were retaining everybody for now. I mean, I would be too. It's always scary when a new company comes in like that. I kind of caught up. Because people like conspiracy theories, and we're in a land of Facebook comments and Twitter and Discord, and that kind of stuff thrives. People love a good tinfoil hat. Plus, people never want to admit that they were wrong. Like if they send cards in for grading and they don't get the grades back that they think they should, it's never their fault. It's the company's fault. They screwed me over because I'm not a member, or I don't send enough cards, or I didn't pay for the highest service tier and all that shenanigans. People don't want to admit that like maybe you just missed a soft corner, you know. They'd rather latch on to the tinfoil hat conspiracy than anything else. Would you rather have Morant silver select court side or Morant silver prism? The silver court side, probably. It's a better looking card. Yeah, if you follow them on IG, they post about trade nights all the time. I talk about them too whenever they're coming up on the channel. Maybe down the road, Fanatics does something with grading. I don't think they want to get into that right now. I think they have bigger fish to fry and want to get up and running before they worry about grading. And I think they would partner with someone before they buy someone. If you want to see tinfoil hats come out of the woodwork, like for real, whatever like bulk grocery store place you have, like Sam's Club, Costco, BJ's, whatever. If Fanatics buys a grading company or starts their own grading company, stock up on tinfoil because you'll never find it again. The tinfoil hat squad, the conspiracy theorist squad will be out in full force if Fanatics buys or starts their own grading company. Good Lord. I mean, that just because they have the hockey market under a new contract doesn't mean they still can't just buy Upper Deck. They could still absolutely do that. Fanatics has all the money in the world. And Upper Deck's not that big of a company. Upper Deck is smaller than Tops. No one knows the print numbers for sure. Just do your homework. Stay away from base. Try to look at other stuff, but just do a bunch of research is the best thing that I could tell you in a very quick answer. Yeah, I'm sure there are some people doing duplicate jobs that they're not going to need anymore. And I'm sure there'll be some shuffles around the upper management. They're going to want to put their people in place to bring their ideals in or whatever. Panini's worth more because they have a large European sticker side of things. Excuse me. Do I think Fanatics will have Tops ads during baseball games? 100%. Remember, the players in the leagues have a vested interest in sports cards now. That was part of the appeal to the Panini license deal. Whoever said I got caught up, I fell behind again. Am I going to rip a box of hoops on the channel? Um, I don't know yet. Here's the thing. Normally I work on Friday. Normally I work Monday through Friday, relatively normal office hours. I go in a little bit earlier and get out a little bit earlier. I happen to be off on Friday because I have to work an extremely long day tomorrow. Or I just have to work for a couple hours in the morning. There's a decent enough chance I'm probably going to end up at my local LCS, and I may buy a box of hoops to rip on the channel. We will see. No promises. It depends on how much it is locally. If I could get it for, I don't even want to put a number in the air. It's the stupidest thing in the world for me to buy a box of hoops and rip it. It's the dumbest thing ever, and I know that, but I'm a weak man. No, don't mention the tinfoil hat without putting it on. It's behind me. I don't like putting it on without an actual uh, hat underneath it. I'm not sure. I'm not a business guy, so like I don't know what the number would be, but I feel like Upper Deck would be worth less than Tops. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's what DeLuca went for. That knocked a big chunk, about half the price of that book off. I don't think we know yet because we don't know exactly what their distribution model is going to be like. Josh has said multiple times they want to keep LCSs in play. They also want um, hobby shops to get their thing. They want retail to get their thing. So I think there's going to be multiple tiers of products going to multiple different places. But I don't think we see that stuff until next year. You know, Tops 2022, Tops Series 1, Series 2, that stuff was already in the pipeline, pre-ordered in the distribution channels. Um, so it's going to take some time for that to flush out. I don't think we see that back end aspect until late this year, maybe. Mm. I think most of what they're going to do is back end stuff. What is the grade on the 181 and the giant size X-Men? Let me move off. Otherwise, it's going to keep wanting to pick me up. The giant size X-Men number 1 is 7.0 white pages. I got that about 2 months ago. And then the Hulk 181 is a 6.5 white pages. I got that about a month ago. And then I got a New Mutants 98 back there. That's a 9.8. And then I got an X-Men 133 back there and a 9.8. I love 133. Not really like a key issue in regards to first appearance, but one of my favorite covers ever. And also first solo Wolverine story. It's kind of the book that put Wolverine on the map. So it's a key for that, but it's not like a key first appearance or anything. Mm-mm. I don't know, Elong, in terms of hobby content. I really just kind of take it day by day, to be quite honest with you. Most of my videos I record 24 to 48 hours before they go up. Most of the time, actually, less than that, to be quite honest. Most stuff, like usually, typically how this works, just kind of give you guys a peek behind the scenes. I'm usually recording now for tomorrow morning. Typically, I usually record after dinner, and then get it ready to post the next morning. This is a particular week, the type of content that I was putting out, I'm actually way ahead of schedule. I have a bunch of videos for this week, and I actually had to push some of them the next week. I have 2 box openings tomorrow morning. I recorded a video of me opening up the Weiss Schwartz Marvel anime cards, the Japanese TCG game. I got 2 boxes of these in. I recorded 2 separate videos of me opening those. One's dropping tomorrow, one's probably dropping next week. What else do I have already recorded and ready to go? Top 10 comic books in my collection to start the year, top 10 sports cards in my collection to start the year. Both those are recorded. Both those videos will be coming out at some point in time. Everything got screwed up this week because of this Topps Fanatics stuff. And then I have another comic book video already recorded in regards to how I look at what grade to buy when I'm buying something older. Like basically what it was built around that Black Panther, the FF52. My process for why I bought the 6.5. So that's kind of a preview of what's coming long term. I honestly don't know. There's always stuff to talk about. I thought Fanatics invested in SGC. Blackstone, who is invested in Fanatics, is invested in CSG/CGC. So it's not actually Fanatics. It's an investment firm that has money in Fanatics that also has ties to a lot of the people at Fanatics. Upper Deck is pretty tiny compared to Tops, because don't forget, Tops has the candy business too, which they did keep in the sell. I mean, people can state whatever they want until someone throws a pile of money on the table that you can't say no to. Yeah, the Transformers, the movie, that was a lot of childhood moments were spent with that movie. Yeah, I mean, if they get him, like, so say for some, in this mystery world that we all want to live in, they find a way to get Upper Deck or the Jordan license or whatever. I think he probably would not want to sign very much. To your point, maybe you get him for whatever their high end product is. Flux is a Panini product, not a Topps product. Yeah, Panini pretty much does think they'll just release whatever because they release it and it sells. Same with Bowman Draft. I never got in the Bowman Draft. It is hard to fight the urge to rip. Leaf makes nothing that I want. Am I a fan of the Tatis Chrome Prism Refractor? Yes. Yes, I am. I have one right here. I am a fan of the Tatis Prism Refractor. I have a Tatis regular refractor too. A little combo. Yeah, I liked Prism Refractors in general. They're nice looking and they're lower pop. That would be interesting if they took an E-Pack-like approach. And now I am way behind on chat. I don't know if they make Cobra Kai cards or not. I mean, Fanatics is already winning this. It's just a matter of time. You won't be seeing me touch much in the way of Flux cards. Oh, the Wander Franco mess. So the gist is they put him in Bowman's best. Beckett's calling it a rookie card. There's no rookie card symbol on the thing. Typically, the true rookie is from flagship or update. It's a whole situation. I barely understand it. No, I haven't had time to make one, Anthony. There's been way too much going on. Essentially, hot rookies and parallel colors is really the short answer for it. And timing it with the market. So like sending baseball now, like the stuff that makes the most sense is, if you rip this upcoming Prism football and you pull a nice Mac Jones refractor, silver instead of refractor. Look at me already in Topps Chrome Fanatics world. Something like that you don't need back immediately because you want to time the market to sell in the off season or in the prior run up to the season. You're fine setting that at the slower speed. Stuff like that makes sense without giving specific examples off the top of my head. I don't think this has any major impacts one way or the other on the older top stuff. Now, that's an interesting angle that I forgot about that we talked about last night on Flipping Steve's live stream. I forgot about Sapphire. Topps Chrome Sapphire basketball will be insane. Favorite hobby content that I watch and listen to, other than the guys that I regularly talk to because I watch all their stuff, probably Card Collector too, just because he has a unique angle because he has the shop side angle. On the comic side, Reggie collects, and then just in general, Rudy the Magic guy. I'm not a big Walking Dead fan, and I'm not really big investing heavy in the modern. But it's not bad. It has legacy to it. And I think it's pretty low on the census from what I remember. I've been to Kenmore Cards and Comics, yeah. I actually bought some Marvel cards from them back when Marvel cards first took off. I would do content creation full time if I could, 100%. I really enjoy making content. If I could do content creation full time, I would 100% do it. No, PSA will never get into subgrades. They don't have a reason to. There's no reason for PSA to do subgrades. People want PSA. People want 10s, not 9.5s. Yeah, there are basically no modern boxing cards. I'm sure someone is sitting in a room right now crunching the numbers on this. Does it make sense for us to maximize profit from the hobby or just sell now and get the money out of it? I haven't looked in much into the Slab Stocks partner with Card Ladder, to be honest. Are Hall of Famers to buy over prospects? Hall of Famers don't have It depends on what you want to do. Yeah, Hall of Famers are super safe. It just depends on what you want. If you just want to buy it, stick it in a box, put it on a shelf, look at it, then yeah, it's 100% a viable play. In the sports card world, it's not what I like to do, but it 100% works. The flavor of the week stuff, you got to move in and out of it constantly. You can't try to sit on it for too long. I mean, I've said this in a lot of videos. Those are my vintage sports cards. My comic book collection is my vintage sports cards. That's the stuff that I buy that just sits on the shelf. I'm not looking to flip that stuff. I'm not looking to sell it. That just sits back there, looks cool. One day will I sell it? Probably, but I'm not looking to sell it anytime soon. Yep, a lot of stuff is pulled back in price. Yeah, I mean, they could hardline and not sell. With them being family owned, who knows? I have not seen the new Matrix movie. I like Book of Boba Fett. We're talking whatever. Just chat drives it. So whatever chat throws up there. Topps Finest would be a good brand to come back to. Topps Finest could be like the new Select. Yeah, Panini has other options, and they just signed WWE. So they just raised prices too, Trace. Get more books in while you can. So you had to deal with the 1099 nonsense for a while. Will the Hoops Tops rookies do what the Mac Jones PSA did? I don't think so. The Mac Jones thing was very perfectly timed. Probably had some market manipulation to it. I wouldn't be surprised. That was right place, right time for that card. Don't get me wrong. PSA 10s out of Hoops will drastically oversell what they should. But yeah, I'm not a soccer guy, but from what I see on the secondary market, it seems like Topps gets more love. I don't know that the Prism brand would lose value. Like the players that have rookies in that would be fine. I think the thing that would get killed is the whole, oh, it's first year Prism. I got to have his first year Prism card. That stuff will get hammered, in my opinion. About how many followers would you want to go full-time content creator? So here's the thing about YouTube. The subscriber number is really nice. The subscriber number is not what gets you paid. It's views that get you paid. That's where you make your ad revenue from. Subscribers are important from like a clout factor, especially if you're talking to brands that want to advertise on your channel. They care about that number and they care about your views and your demographics. But views is what dictates like your actual AdSense dollars. So how many views the channel gets on a given day. And then whatever your, I don't want to go too way deep into the weeds here, whatever your ad rates are, which in January, the ad rates suck. In December and November, they're really good. But even that being said, like just to give you guys a peek behind the glass, let me pull up December really quick here. I would say on average, I probably in December, and any individual video on my channel, there's going to be some wiggle room here. I probably make 50 to 60 bucks on. There are some that are higher than that. There are some that are lower than that. That's probably about the channel average. And that's pre-tax. Now, I have other sources of revenue. I have my Slab sponsorship and I have some affiliate stuff, which also give me revenue coming in. But just from Google AdSense, I make about 50 to 60 bucks a video pre-tax. And that was December. And December is the best paying month for ads. It's not even close. The thing that really sets you up is getting more and more brand deals. I've turned down a lot of brand deals. A lot of companies will email me for advertising, especially fractional share companies. Fractional share, if you guys want to know about fractional share companies, whoo-wee. I don't get as many now. Early on, I got emails from fractional share companies all the time, and I turned them all down. Card trading app, maybe. I think that'd be really hard to do. Documentaries driving prices in the market these days are extremely overrated. I'd have to look, Josh. I haven't looked at Football Select in a while for the current class. I don't think anyone really cares. I think people only care about field level, really. The club level, premier level thing, I just think confuses the hell out of people. New challenge every Browns Hall of Famer. I think PSA has some pretty cheap prices by the end of the year, but it'll be select on how you get into it. I think in general, you'll be able to submit a card to PSA anytime you want for about 25 to 30 bucks, depending on declared value. I think SGC gets back down to probably sub 20 bucks at some point in time later this year. Who knows with BGS? And then I really don't know with CSG for the sports card grading things. Whew, 100K. Sheesh. I'm sure there's some people that left that feel priced out, but I feel like those people left already. Silver Age keys have a high floor. Most sports cards are worthless as they get older. I mean, I agree with the Silver Age keys have a very high floor, 100%. Most sports cards are worthless as they get older. It depends on what you're talking about. Vintage sports cards are not worthless. They are Silver Age keys. They're Golden Age keys in some cases. Yes, modern cards as they age, most become worthless. I could see that getting a little weird at some point in time. How much did CGC go up in price? I could pull it up real quick. Hold on a second. Let me do a screen share here. These are their new fees. Let me zoom in a little bit. So I'm not super familiar with their old fees, to be honest with you, because I never sent stuff in. So here's their new comic book grading tiers right here. But I don't know what they changed from. I never sent in raw to grade. I just always bought. I always bought graded. But those are their new fees right there. Trading card fees did not change. Magazine services went up, and comic book grading went up. I'll leave that up for a little bit. Jeff, this is the problem with Marvel cards. Where do I want to go to buy a box or case of the new Marvel Beginnings cards? They're not up for pre-sale yet that I found because I've been looking myself. If you have an LCS, I would talk to your LCS and see if they could order them for you. If not, you just have to keep a close eye on like Dave and Adams and Blowout and Steel City. But try to find a local LCS that may carry them or get them in for you. I definitely see Topps Finest and Bowman's Best making a comeback. That could be like their select and optic if they don't get the other companies. I'm going to pull this off. How do I feel about paying taxes and how's it going to affect the hobby? I'm almost done with the whole thing. It's overwhelming and almost not fun to collect, buy, sell anymore. It's honestly, people are overblowing this. It's honestly not that big of a deal. It's really not. You pay QuickBooks $15 a month or whatever platform. There's a billion different platforms out there. Track all your stuff. It takes a couple minutes. It's not a big ordeal. I have a separate PayPal account for everything YouTube and hobby related. All the transactions suck directly in the QuickBooks. Done. That tracks everything for me. And then talk to your CPA in regards how best to handle all that. Spend a couple $100 on a CPA, talk to them, have them go through your stuff, let them know what you're doing. They'll advise you for what exactly you need to do. People are really overblowing this. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's not the cute little hobby that it used to be. You need to treat it like a business now because you're making money off of it. It's a business. So take it seriously and just do the work. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad, especially if you stay up on it throughout the year. If you wait and don't, then it's a pain in the ass because you got to do it all at one time. But if you just do it as the year goes on, talk to a CPA now so you know exactly what you need to do because every person's different, and then execute. It's really, really not that bad. It's extremely overblown how much people are freaking out about this. Thank you, Beaver. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. The Marvel card market is a wild place right now. I have a soft spot for Marvel Universe. Hey, Rookie Mania. Not sure how much longer I'll be on for. We'll see how this goes. But I don't want to. The Cavs are playing the Grizzlies, which means Darius Garland and John Morant are throwing down. The Cavs are up 3 with 4 minutes to go in the first. So we'll probably go to halftime. That'll probably be another 30, 40 minutes at least. But we'll go through halftime so I can watch the second half. Bob's bit Montana docuseries doesn't boost Montana cards, but Spider-Man movie does. Got it. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. There was a Tom Brady docuseries that did absolutely nothing for his cards. There was a Kobe docuseries. It did nothing for his cards. The only docuseries that did anything for their cards was Jordan. The only reason that did anything for his cards is because we didn't have real sports. We did not have real sports. The Jordan documentary was an absolute perfect storm for stuff. There was nothing to watch. It was the focus of everything, and it caused everything to go nuts. Every other docuseries that comes out, no one cares because we have live sports to watch. It will barely move his market, would be my guess. For Spider-Man the movie coming out, that is the event. That's the Super Bowl. Spider-Man coming out, that's the ALCS. That's the NBA Finals. It's a huge difference between the two. SGC has definitely gained some ground this year for sure. Did you ever? I bought a lot of select singles. I didn't buy select wax. PSA 9 for those, that seems reasonable enough. I mean, you're not into it for much. 10% increase. Thank you, Hector. I don't think that's that bad. The Facebook was losing its mind, but they lose their mind over everything. So I'm not a big COM-C guy, so I don't know much about the platform, like from a sales perspective. I know a lot of people like it. I know a lot of people hate it. I've bought some stuff off there before. It was fine. Feels a little antiquated. I prefer eBay because I like to have my cards in my possession. So because I go to a lot of shows and stuff locally, and I want to have my cards with me. I don't want them on an online platform. But that's me, and that's my situation. So it might be different for you. I think it depends on the player regarding autographed cards of modern retired Hall of Famers and the card itself. You know, like, are we talking like a nice flawless patch with a game used jersey, or are we talking like a prism insert with a sticker auto? Don't use pop-up grading companies. I mean, if you like RCG, cool, you do you. I would never send a card to a non-PSA, BGS, SGC, CSG company. There's no chance in hell. Most of the random 3-letter grading companies, unfortunately, probably aren't going to exist. Why did Lucas prices go down so much? The Mavericks are kind of meh. He was hurt. Then he went in health and safety protocols, and he's had an up and down season. He had a bad narrative with the overweight factor, and his stuff was probably slightly overpriced given the new market that we're in. Excuse me. I don't know the individual differences off the top of my head versus light versus pro. The big reason that I went pro back before I was even really making YouTube videos was the My Collection tracking. I like the My Collection tracking. Man. Sorry, blocking the Russian hackers. Do likes help with they do not help with revenue, but what YouTube likes to see is interaction on the video. That's the reason every content creator you've ever watched in your entire life says please like and comment down below, because the more interaction the audience has with an individual video, the YouTube algorithm is more likely to pick it up and put it in front of random people's screens, because they assume if people are interacting with the video by smashing the like button and leaving a comment down below or having discussion below the video, the content must be worthwhile to share. So they will then put that thumbnail and title in front of someone that does not normally watch the channel. Is essentially a very high level version of how it works. Do I earn money off of a like? No. Does a bunch of likes on a video and a bunch of comments on a video increase its reach? Yes. So it's an very, very indirect way. Inglorious gets it. How come I don't do any prospecting? I don't enjoy buying guys that are 18 years old and playing in the minor leagues in single A ball that I won't see for 5 years. That's the only reason why. I just don't get enjoyment out of it. I want to buy guys. I want to buy Ja and Darius Garland cards because I have Ja and Darius Garland on TV over here. I enjoy the swinginess of the player performance and stuff like that. Mm-mm. Sorry, I was just checking the score. Why I looked over there. I don't think Panini can make unlicensed cards because Fanatics also has the name and likeness. They have the player association contract and the team contract. So they have the license to the logos and they have the license to the players. That's never happened before. I don't think where company has had both. SGC is fine for the right cards. I wouldn't use them for anything high end personally, but for a low to mid end card, like I'm strongly considering sending them the Japanese Marvel cards that I opened. I'm thinking about sending them down there. Something like this is perfect for that. I don't think Antonio Brown plays for the football team. It's a hobby that you're making money off of. Just be careful on how many losses you take. Talk to a CPA. You can only do that for so long. Do you go to card show to sell cards, accept cash? You don't have to pay taxes on cash since it's cash transaction. Correct. If you take cash, there's no record of anything. Yeah, it's just a lot trickier to track. Yes, Fleer and Skybox are owned by Upper Deck. Yep. Mile High Sports nails it. As does Taylor. I am way behind on chat. Holy smokes. I did not participate in any of the Madden Fantasy Leagues. I think there'll still be a little dip on Burrow if they lose. It depends on how they lose. You know what I mean? It's going to be like that, whatever the last memory is. If they lose and they lose because he played really, really crappy, or they lose and he throws for like 500 yards and 5 touchdowns and they lose in some crazy shootout, that's going to make a big difference, honestly. It's probably because it's Chronicles. It's a fun rip, but Bloodbath in terms of bricking, I really want to rip a 92 box, but it scares the shit out of me. I'm not like real big on the Topps Tiffany stuff. I mean, it's not that I'm not big on it. Like I don't like it. I'm just not super knowledgeable on it. I know like the Bonds Topps Tiffany does really well. Well, CGC is comic book pricing, not card pricing, Mark. I would think SGC at some point in time will lower prices as PSA puts downward pressure on them. I'm going to try to do more of this, Steve. Ares Hero starting out. In regards to starting out, pick a character that you like and then do the research. One of the comic book videos that's already recorded talks about like what grades to buy, and I do touch on some Ares stuff. It's like some comic book 101. So I do plan to try to lean a little bit more into that. It's not about sending your cards to SGC. It's about the secondary market wanting cards in SGC slabs. I talked about this, I think, on my live stream and maybe another live stream. The thing with SGC is, and they do make sense for some cards. They absolutely do. But more people want to grade with, this is the side of people that want to grade with SGC. A bunch of people want to grade with SGC. Tons of people want to grade with SGC. Over here, way down here, is the people that actually want to own SGC slabs. That part is way lower, and that's why you see the massive price discrepancy on the secondary market. I had Kenny Fornos on the channel. He is a big time, I travel to all the shows, buy and sell cards guy. Like, he's on the front lines at the big shows, flipping cards left and right. The problem is, he says basically anyone that's in that realm really doesn't look that strongly at SGC. They want PSA or BGS only. So SGC makes sense for a lot of lower end quick flip stuff. I do not think they make sense for higher end stuff. I don't know that they ever will. PSA has been closed for and are extremely high priced for almost a year now, and SGC has gained a little bit. And they've been around forever. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through some comments here. I don't think they partner deal with Upper Deck. I think they either buy Upper Deck or Upper Deck keeps doing its thing. Yeah, I'm surprised they gave that big of a notice. And another Russian spammer. Current thoughts on CSG and SGC for sending cards and for grading. I kind of just talked about this. You got to send the right card. I've made this comment a few different places today. And I made it last night at the end of flipping Steve's live stream. Grading companies are tools. You have to pick the right tool for the job. I do not own a hockey card. I do not collect anything DC. I hope so. I really want CGC trading cards to take Marvel cards, but we haven't seen it yet. Oh my gosh, I almost caught back up on chat. I do not think Beanie Babies make a comeback. I love SGC now more than ever. If it works for you, it works for you. I do not want to own any SGC slabs. I'm the same way. I personally, the only SGC card that I own, where did it go? I had SGC stuff because I graded with SGC last year. I sent cards to SGC last year. Well, 2020 now. The only SGC card that I own is this Elon Musk rookie that Yamwax sent a bunch of content creators as a gift. So I'll never get rid of this because it was a gift. And it's just kind of cool. The thought was really cool behind it too. %50 of people who use SGC are just waiting on PSA value. You're not wrong. I think that SGC can absolutely gain traction. The hobby's been around for a long time, and it was never as big as it is now this time ever. I just think if they were going to gain traction, they would have already done it. Yes, this makes sense, but you got to pick the right cards. The price points have to be there. SGC for vintage is a completely different story. I respect the BGS grades, and I respect the BGS brand, and BGS is liquid on the secondary market. I am waiting for PSA for lower price points, most likely. I am gonna dabble with. I may dabble with CGC for this Japanese stuff, just for the hell of it, because I can. That would be the only. These are the only Marvel cards that you could currently send the CGC because these are trading Weiss Schwartz and it's a TCG and they do grade these. So I'd be able to get these in a CGC blue label. So I got to sort through this pile and figure out what I want to do. I don't know that I give a good resale value though. I'd almost just be doing it as an experiment. CSG slabs are really nice. Label sucks. 22 Cope. Jesus. Yeah, it's not that that the PSA slab label looks the best. It is pretty boring, but it doesn't offend anybody. Hey, what's up, Charles? Yeah, a lot of people like the set register show. PMGs would be a big deal right now because PMGs are hot, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon. As much as I would like to get them upper deck, a lot of people and a lot of the smoke has been that upper deck's just not available. Suns, Warriors, or Jazz probably for the West. It's a good comment, Taylor. No, because there's retail sitting on the shelves now. If kids want to rip packs, you can walk in and find stuff right now. Is it good stuff? No, but you could find stuff to go rip right now. Chronicles basketball sitting on shelves, Prism baseball sitting on shelves, some of the Tops products sitting on shelves. And if it's just kids ripping product for fun, it shouldn't matter if there's value in it or not. They're just ripping it to have fun. So, yeah, blaster boxes went up like $5, but so did everything else in the world. Yeah, it depends what you're doing. I'm buying cards to resell, and if I'm buying cards to resell, I don't want it in a CSG or SGC slab because it eliminates the room. I've talked about this a bunch before. I can re-bring up the same comment that I've made before. It's going to depend on what you're doing with the card. If you're buying it to put it on the shelf and you don't care about it, you don't care about reselling it, you don't care about moving it, you're just buying the card to buy the card. It probably doesn't matter what slab it's in as long as it's in one of the big four. If you're buying a card for 1,000 and you want to sell it for 1,300 in a couple months, you probably want PSA or BGS. When you walk into a room with SGC, HGA, CSG slabs, you've limited your population of people that want your card to a very narrow window. Not everyone in the room is going to want your card, or they're going to want to severely undervalue your card because it is in a CSG, SGC, HGA slab, whatever one it is, or pick any other 3-letter acronym. When I walk into a trade night, a card show, whatever, I want to appeal to the most number of buyers possible. I don't want to limit my buyer pool. So I want PSA and BGS. But that's what I'm doing. That's what makes sense for me. I hate SGC cases. I've held a CSG slab. They're really nice. The label sucks and their resale value is god awful. They resell for the worst out of any other company. It's not even close. HGA outsells them, and that really should tell you something. It's hard to make Super Bowl predictions because I still think we're going to lose a lot of people to COVID protocols or health and safety protocols. So I don't think Fanatics does anything with grading for a while. I think they got enough on their plate. What's the next big card show I'm planning on attending? I am not sure. It's so hard to predict travel right now. Trying to fly somewhere is an absolute nightmare. I had a couple people at work go to Disney for vacation over Christmas break, and they had to drive home because of flight cancellations. I'm not messing with that. So I don't know. This is a ways away. I'll probably try to be at the Ship Shawana show in March. That's not like a big show by any means, but it's a bigger show. I would like to try to get something between now and then. It just depends. I really don't know. It's too hard to plan travel right now. I wanted to go to the Mint Collective in January, but I decided not to because I had a feeling travel was going to be a nightmare. CGC, nothing happened with CSG. CGC, the comic grading side, had a price increase. I love PSA 9s of the right cards. Fasan Rajan, he's fine. They needed to do something after they lost Rubio. I don't know that he's the permanent answer though. I don't mind BGS cards. BGS is really nice for RPAs still. They'll exit the card market. There is no CGC sports card grading. The sports card grading side is CSG. CGC is the comic book side. The comic book side prices went up about 10%. That's CGC. CSG is sports cards. Too many three-letter acronyms in this hobby. I think if anything, it'll be more like the more limited parallels of the main brands. I do like Revolution quite a bit. I don't think Donruss Elite does much. Of the ones you listed, Revolution would be the only one that I'd have a lot of faith in. Mm. I mean, if it works for you, flea market mixtape, that's fine. But once again, if they were gonna get a major traction in the world and like catch PSA, it would have happened by now. Culture Collision in Atlanta is one that is on my radar, but I am not committed to going yet. Yeah, it just all depends on the card. Yeah, Mint Collective got rescheduled. I don't think the Bucks are going to win the Super Bowl. They lost too many players on offense. There is always the Hartwell and Canton show, and the two Cleveland shows, and occasionally Columbus if I feel like getting spicy. I don't think Baker's back with the Browns next year. Yeah, I've had a lot of people say CSG is harsh. That's the biggest problem with CSG. They have a reputation of grading too hard, and their secondary market resale value is terrible. So anyone that graded with them doesn't really have a whole lot of incentive to go back to grading with them. Will people ever buy the cards, not the slabs? I doubt it. I haven't bought Baker since the beginning of the season, and no, I don't think he'll be on the Browns next year. I think he's going. LeBron's next stop is wherever Bronny plays when he comes into the NBA. I don't think so. It's really no different than it was before. Topps controlled the baseball market. Panini controlled football and basketball. No one else could make licensed versions of those cards. I actually like Infinity War better than those three. If you're gonna make me choose, Spider-Man: No Way Home is right up there with Endgame, but I actually prefer Infinity War. Infinity War was so good. Uh, Smash the like button if you have not. That's my nightly reminder. I want PSA to grade my 1099. I think they are addressing it. I think it's not as easy as you think, because the label still needs to fit the mold, or they need to change the mold. So the label size can't change. Otherwise, they got to change the molds, and that's a huge expense. So they have to redesign a label. Then they have to figure out, test that, see if people like it. Then they got to come up with some sort of plan for the people that already graded with them that want to switch their labels out, because they'll probably piss people off. It's just more involved. And I think they had a little bit of hubris too, to be honest with you. I think they underestimate a lot. I mean, everyone, as soon as people saw it, everyone was like, what the hell is this label? And they didn't listen, and they could have addressed it early on. But it's a big reason behind why they're hurting. That, and I don't know why. I understand why, because they brought a bunch of Beckett graders over. I just think in this era, it's a mistake to use 9.5 as your main grade. The secondary market has spoken. They do not want 9.5s. They want 10s. And when 9.5 is your gem mint grade, I just think it causes all sorts of problems for you on the secondary market. Like, to go back to BGS, anyone that's ever had a BGS slab and a BGS 9.5 has had a conversation like this. You're trying to trade or sell it. Okay, cool. Is it a true gem? Is it a min gem? Is it a min gem plus? Is it a true gem plus? Okay, so how are we going to value this? Because you have 3.95s and a 9, or you have 3.95s and a 10, or you have 2.95s, a 9, and a 10. It gets into this whole weird, convoluted nonsense that doesn't need to be there. If your main grade's a 10, it's super simple. Maine to Atlanta on a bus. Damn. I mean, the Bucks are really good. I with no Godwin makes it a little crazy. Garland must have just got hurt. Garland got hurt. What? Huh? No, Garland's on the court right now. I can see him running around out there. I'm. I just don't think you're right on this one, flea market. I don't follow the soccer market well enough to take any hot takes on what it may or may not do with the market. For PC purposes, CSG and SGC are great. For resale purposes, they suck. Can CGC get some of the top Marvel PMGs into their slabs early on when they eventually grade? Top ones, no. Everyone will still send them the PSA. Just because they're still going to command the highest secondary market. There's a lot of spec on Marvel cards in CGC slabs. And here's the other thing. We don't know that CGC is going to be the one that grades Marvel cards. That's what everyone wants. But they could easily say they go to CSG, not CGC. And then that takes them out of the blue label into whatever their new label ends up being. So people are hoping and wishing it's CGC that grades them, but it could be CSG. I see eBay sellers offering better prices if you direct pay. That's because you cut out the eBay fees. I mean, eBay's going to take 14%. PayPal goods and services is 3.49% plus 50 cents. So there's a happy medium there where the buyer can make a little bit, or the buyer can save a little bit of money because you get a little bit cheaper and you don't have to pay sales tax on it. And the seller can sell it for a little bit more money, and you both win. You should do deals off platform if you can. Thoughts on Star Stock 70% cash advance? I have not looked into it, but it did not seem as skeezy as the Investacard one. Yeah, I'm glad Mobley's back. That's for sure. I don't like the fact that Rubio got hurt and that we lost Sexton this year. All our backcourt depth is gone, and now Okoro's out for 2 to 3 weeks. Mm. I mean, so here's the thing with CSG grading Marvel cards right out of the gate. CSG was immediately backlogged out of the gate. So I think that could have hurt them in that regards. I I don't think Garland's down. There's a minute and 36 left in the second quarter, and he's playing. I mean, unless I'm delayed on chat, but I'm watching him run around and do things like, oh, Mobley airball to 3. Mm. Sorry, I was just checking something really quick. Mm. What are good comics to buy into to start a collection? Pick a character that you like, and then research that character and see what keys they have. If Baker goes to a new team, I will 100% sell my Bakers. I don't know if it'll be that day. I'll try to time the market as best as I can to get out of him what I can. But if the Browns cut him, I will sell them 100%. Yeah, there was a whole debacle about. Did you? I assume you saw that today in the Marvel group, Charles. I think you commented on that post. Wow, Baker's way better than Manziel. Yeah, the CGC label is way better. The blue label is so much nicer on the Pokemon cards. I've seen a lot of the Pokemon cards at local shows. What's up, Matt? Any increase on your cards is a good benchmark to hit. It's tricky, Robert, because there's so many out there. There is so many different Marvel cards out there. There's a million different ways the market could go, and it would just take uh one of the right influencers to pump something, and then it's game over for whatever that is. I haven't noticed this, Jamie, but you can't get in trouble with that. There's ways though. The easiest way is make your eBay user ID the same as your IG. Most people, especially in the card industry, the first thing they do is search the user ID on IG. If he leaves the Browns, I will sell my Baker stuff. If he does not leave the Browns, I will not. Hulk 181 indeed. Hulk 181 seems to be picking up a little bit of steam. I noticed some sales skirting up a little bit. Upper Deck has the Marvel license. Oh, I might. Oh, I almost kind of got caught up. I do think Baker got a really raw deal this year. Is he the best? Absolutely not. But I mean, from week 6 on, he was beat to hell, and they have no weapons. I would like to actually see him get traded and succeed on another team. I would. Not off the top of my head. I would just try to find something on 130 point or eBay. SGC already has in some cases. Some SGC 10s outsell BGS 95s. I don't see it happening with CSG for a very long time. Yeah, I agree with this. For PMGs, anyways, it's PSA and BGS for certain things. I haven't put a ton of thought into this yet. If they're going to switch him out, I would like them to bring in someone that's established because the team's ready to win now. Um, my initial thought, without putting like a ton of thought into it, would be someone like Derek Carr. As scary as that sounds, I can't believe I even uttered those words out of my mouth. My speculation is, and this is really off the deep end. I don't know if this is accurate or not. Maybe some sort of slab or label redesign, but I don't know if that's what it is. It might not be something that big. That's what I would. That's kind of what I'm hoping to see, honestly. No, the Patriots aren't trading Mac Jones for Baker. I mean, it might a little bit, but that's like super in the weeds. The Ant-Man and Wasp boxes. It's okay. I use the alt app to check comps every once in a while. It's fine. I do not want Kirk Cousins. Any thoughts on HGA? I hate HGA. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with this, Daniel. I think he got a raw deal, but it is what it is. Thanks. Yeah, the Sentinel in the back is the put it in focus there a little bit for you. That's the HasLab Sentinel from the Kickstarter thing. It's really cool. It's like, I don't know, 2 feet tall, over 2 feet tall. It's huge. And it's fully adjustable. You can make him do all sorts of things. He lights up. There's a little button on him that lights his chest and his eyes up for a few minutes. He has different heads you could put on, whole 9 yards. Russell Wilson with the Cleveland would be fantastic. I just don't think they have enough firepower to go get him. I think Minshew could potentially be a starter next year. I think there's a chance Wilson just stays on Seattle. Thank you, sir. I just put some more up. I got more stands in the mail today. Before I only had 3 on display, and then I added the 2 more stands. And I actually have a few more now. I wouldn't prospect on Zion. I'm not that big on Zion. I mean, Garland. There's lots of good players from the 19 class. My prediction in today's video was no, they don't. But apparently, they just got a new round of investor money, so we'll see what they do. But off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I'd have to think about this one, Brandon. Trey Turner's a really good baseball player, but I don't know that he does anything to break out in the card world. There's so much good young talent, and he's good, but like, I mean, you're talking Soto, Acuna, Tatis, Vlad, Otani, like plus Trout as the old guard. I mean, you got guys like Devers and Lubob that can't even break through. So I just think it's really hard for Trey Turner. Yeah, I dug that out. I was going through some stuff and I had an old roll of posters and I was pulling some out and I was like, let me throw this up to put something on the wall back there. Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in what they're doing. He's already better than Greg Oden. He's this generation's Blake Griffin. Yeah, Flair's pretty well respected, especially if you can grade him. I mean, check comps. I haven't looked at Flair in a while, but they're really nice cards. We're probably going to wrap pretty soon here. So smash the like button if you haven't. 199 people in here, 99 likes. That's a shame. That's just a shame. I'll go for just a couple more minutes. So if anyone has any last minute questions to fire in, go ahead and fire them in. But I would like to end before the second half of the Cavs game starts. New Book of Boba Fett episode tomorrow. Woohoo. Tyler O'Neill's fine. See my last comment. There's just so much good young talent in the MLB. It just takes so much to break out. Favorite Decepticon? Starscream, not even close. Soundwave's a good guess, but I'm a big Starscream guy. I'm not a big fan of either. I mean, if you bought like Rui at bargain basement prices like he has been in, it's probably not a bad idea for like a quick flip, but I'm not interested in any one of them long term. Waiting for Nia to flash just one. You buy them all. I can't. I can't get one. Recent Marvel pickups. Boxes of Japanese Marvel cards. This is tomorrow's video right here. I ripped the box of these. Weiss Schwartz. Really cool looking cards. They're TCG out of Japan. They will not release in America, but they do look really cool. This is a hollow foil. You can see the little, oops, come on. There you go. You can see the little pixelies. When the autofocus is too good on the camera, this is what happens. So these are one of the hollow foils. These look really cool. This video will be up tomorrow morning. Here's a Spider-Man. Oops. A little hollow foil effect there. Artwork's really great on these. Japanese only, though, so they're not in English. It's a TCG, so it has like the game lettering on the front, but they're a really unique product. They're a little under $100 a box on eBay, so they're a good, fun, cheap rip. I got 2 boxes of them. I ripped one already. That's the video going up tomorrow. I actually ripped the second one already, too, because I'm a degenerate, and I can't keep sealed wax in the house. That video will go up sometime next week. And then my only other Marvel pickup that's non-card related is the Fantastic 452 back there. First appearance of Black Panther. That'll be featured in a video probably going up next week. Actually, that video might go up on Friday. I don't know yet. Is F1 worth a shot? F1's not bad. I don't have any of it. I don't know much about it. I don't see that happening. They're very hot, like they can be. Their prices were super insane at the beginning of the year. They've cooled way off. I love the Turtles. I'm not a Turtles comic book guy. Well, elaborate on the direction the Marvel market could go. I think the Marvel market stays hot. I think PMG's plateau at some point in time. But the tricky part is knowing what's next in the Marvel card market, because there's so many options that it could go to, and a lot of stuff starting to get priced up. Do I think the Ken Golden Netflix documentary will have an effect on the market? Not really. I do like Desmond Bain. He is very good. When buying 60s comics, what grade do you prefer? Okay, so this is literally the video that I made. I'm not sure. Let me see when I have this scheduled to go up. 1 second. 1 second. I think this might be going up Monday, because I have another comic book video for this week. All right, we'll close with this. I'll give you a little preview of content coming. So smash the like button if you haven't, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. So CGC price increase is on the comic book side of things. About a 10% price increase. Okay, so upcoming content to the channel tomorrow morning, January 5th, right? January 5th. Box break, Marvel Weiss Schwartz, Japanese Marvel cards. Really good looking artwork. That's tomorrow. January 6th, Thursday. Top 10 comic books in my collection to start 2022. That's Thursday. Friday is probably the top 10 sports cards in my collection to start 2022. Saturday, I do not think I'll be releasing any pre-recorded content, but I might go live Saturday night for the ending of the golden auctions. There's a lot of big Marvel cards in the golden auctions, and I am curious what they're going to end at. So I might do a live stream in conjunction late night Saturday night with the golden auction stuff ending. Maybe try to get a few guests on. We will see. No promises on that one. Sunday will be the normal Sunday morning show. Next Monday, assuming nothing crazy happens, I will be dropping a comic book 101, choosing the right grade, and I talk about the process for how I bought. This is weird doing it backwards. The Fantastic 452 and why I chose the 6.5 grade, and how I look at grades across modern, bronze, and silver age, like what my process is, what I look at, and where I go from there. Because there's really no right answer. But I just walk you through the process that I went down when I looked to buy that and other, because I have the Hulk 181 and the Giant Size X-Men #1 as well. And then I have a second video of opening up a box of these. That'll honestly probably drop late sometime next week. And then other than that, I don't know. This is the furthest ahead I've ever been on content in my life. So, yeah, there's a bunch of spicy stuff on the golden auctions. So, I don't think they have enough draft capital to go to get Deshaun Watson. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to go watch the second half of John Morant, Darius Garland. We will catch you guys and girls on the next one. Smash the like button on the way out the door. Peace.